Figure 9.4 shows the wage setting curve, which has on the x-axis the share of the working age population, which goes up to 1, and the economy-wide real wage on the y-axis. So, if you remember that the employment rate is the employed divided by the population of working age, then it is clear that the interpretation of the wage setting curve is that for each point in this curve, we can read that if the employment rate is x, then the equilibrium real wage will be y. Pay attention that on the y-axis we have the real wage, not the nominal wage. That is, it's the nominal wage divided by the price index. Okay, so let's understand this curve in steps. The labor force is the vertical line furthest to the right. It is expected to have a value less than 1, as usually some people are inactive. How far from 1 it will be depends on the participation rate. Inactive workers are those to the right of the labor force line. Next, we have the employment rate, which is the vertical line to the left of the labor force, indicating the share of the population who are actually working. Given that the unemployment rate is the proportion of those in the labor force who are unemployed, we have that the unemployment rate are those workers in between the employment rate line and the labor force line, here indicated as being equal to 12%. So, now it is time to add the wage setting curve. The wage setting curve slopes upwards, and it is the curve that gives the real wage necessary at each level of economy-wide employment to provide workers with incentives to work hard and well. The wage setting curve for the whole economy is based on the employer's wage setting decision and the employee's effort decision in an economy that is composed of many firms which have incomplete employment contracts, in the sense that the contracts cannot cover the effort provided by the employee. Why is that? That's because employers cannot verify the effort from their employees. See Unit 6 again, if necessary. Thus, the wage setting curve is based on the best effort response function of the employee. So for each employment rate, individuals will dedicate an amount of effort in their job, which will define the Nash equilibrium wage. This means that at the employment rate X, the wage is the result of both employers and employees doing the best they can in setting wages and responding to the wage with a given amount of effort, respectively. Okay. How do we interpret this in the wage setting curve? Let's take a look at 2 points, starting with the one associated with an employment rate of 12%, already indicated here. At 12% unemployment in the economy, so let's say a high unemployment rate, the employee's reservation wage is low because people in the labor force know it's difficult to find a job. After all, the unemployment rate is high. Because of that, the ones employed will put in a high level of effort for a relatively low wage. The firm's profit maximizing wage is therefore low, so WL here indicated as wage being low. Now let's take another point, one in which the unemployment rate is low. At 5% unemployment in the economy, the employee's reservation wage is high. They know that if they get unemployed, it will be relatively easy for them to find another job. As such, they will not put in much effort unless the wage is high. The firm's profit maximizing wage is therefore higher.